Now, Ford have always had a commitment to encouraging new rallying talent amongst the club enthusiasts who rally all the year round. This year, despite a rather mediocre performance of their own works cars, they've had a very successful scheme to find some first-class new drivers. It's called Ford Rally Search, and Tony Mason has been charting its progress.
15,000 enthusiasts entered the Ford Rally Search competition, but by midsummer the likely contenders had been whittled down to a mere 15. They were summoned to Ford's Rally Team HQ in Essex, where they were put through a stringent series of tests. The big prize, a Group N Ford Sierra Cosworth, and the chance to compete in this year's Lombard RAC. But to be a top rally star requires more than just a heavy right foot. Rallies can be won or lost by the speed of a wheel change, so you have to be quick. And a sports psychologist was on hand to find out if the drivers had the right mental attitude.
I think you do what feels right. Whenever you drive the car, you try and drive it to the best of your ability.
And could they deal with the rigours of a TV interview?
I remember the British Junior Rally team, so that gave me a little bit of encouragement, last year. And I would like to become a full-time professional rally driver.
What attracts you to it?
It's difficult to say. I love the driving.
Above all, a rally driver must be versatile. For the next exercise, the candidates had to dodge around the bollards. Not a chance to prove their parking ability, but a good test of car control. From a very competitive field, a 29-year-old mechanic from Edinburgh eventually emerged as the winner, while some of the others, unfortunately, fell by the wayside. Before being let loose on the Lombard RAC, the winner had to try his hand at competing against top drivers on 4 national events, the last being this, the Audi Sport National, widely seen as a rehearsal for the Lombard RAC. So how was the Ford winner, George Donaldson, coping in the big league?
My performances have been quite reasonable, but I keep slipping off the road at unfortunate points, which means we get stuck for 20 minutes or so and drop down the field. If we can get rid of this annoying habit, I'm sure we'll be quite competitive.
One way of ironing out this habit is to take along a top co-driver, and they don't come better than Fred Gallagher.
I think we're obviously trying to win Group N. That'll be the major task, and it's a long rally, and he doesn't have too much experience, so we'll see how things go for the first day or so.
You don't think that somebody of your stature sitting next to a relative beginner can be a bit daunting?
Yes, absolutely, but I mean, he might be the next Ari Vatanen, preferably with a few less crashes, but you never know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Lots of fast corners to the first T-junction.
Well, I can't win with Fred. I mean, I can only be bad after everybody else Fred sat next to. We had a discussion on the way down here today. We reckon that I can only impress him once, and that'll just be the second before we crash. He'll think we're going quite well.
As the cars drew into the service point at halfway in Machynlleth, we learnt that George had suffered some more problems. George, what happened?
Well, we've broken a hub on the last stage we competed on, which was 2 stages ago. Just coming in round our corner with logs, there was a few cars stopped with a stage blockage ahead. There was no warning of them being there, just as I touched the brakes. The car just clipped a log on the inside of the road and broke a hub. So we've retired.
You had a puncture on the very first stage. Did that cause a loss of time?
We lost 1.25 minutes to our competition, which is surprising. I thought we would have lost more. And on the following 2 stages, I think we were quickest in group, which is very encouraging because there's a lot of top competitors out today.
Amongst those competitors was earlier Ford find Mark Lovell. One day George could follow him and win the British Championship.